In the bottom left, he's from Slayers, and he has a girl's name, but I assure you it's not a girl.
Slayers Alicia.
There he is. Hi, Slayers Alicia. Right. Maybe I'm getting faster. And in the top right, we have the man who knocked out Mecha Prime. No more Mecha Prime time. It is
MVP Noblesse.
MVP Noblesse. MVP, an up-and-coming team. They're getting a lot better. There he is. And if I recall correctly, you told me this guy was Cute Foyu.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. I've seen some of his games, particularly his TVZ. I've seen many of his games against Hydra on the ladder.
Actually,
Quite a strong Terran, actually.
very solid Terran. But we like him.
Yeah.
We like him.
Anyone who has an ID like Cute, that's
Cute.
that's a pretty good ID. Alicia, no. No, that's a bad ID. Unless, like, that's your name, or... I guess if it's, like, his girlfriend's name, I can let it go.
Well, that's possible.
I guess.
If he wins, maybe you can ask him.
Yeah. Well, actually, we will not be doing interviews today. I'm sorry, everybody. It's just the way it is today.
Must not lose his SCV. Alicia coming in from a scout. Gonna see one guess on Noblesse. Looks like Alicia is going for a pretty standard opening. Puts down his Cybernetics Core. Might be a 3-gate expand. But the one thing that can counter a 3-gate expand is gonna be a bio push from Noblesse. So he has to be careful.
Yeah. If you go just 3 gates and expand with no robo, it can get a little bit scary. It can get a little bit hairy depending upon what Terran does. The 3 gates will, if you micro right with force fields, normally you'll be able to hold off a lot of stuff they do. But for instance, let's say they come with a delayed stim timing rush that might have a Raven in it.
Yep.
3 warp gate expand, absolutely 100% will not hold that unless your opponent allies you and goes AFK.
Oh my god, I love this. I think he's actually going for an early bio push. Noblesse.
You're right.
Drops on 2 Rex.
In the meantime, a Stalker is on its way out. And that's the right choice because there is a Reaper on the way. And there's nothing scarier than a Reaper in your base when all you have is a Sentry and a Zealot. Let me tell you that.
He's actually building an early Robo effect.
Oh, I love that. That's the build I use right there. Gateway Robo, Gateway, Gateway. It is the safest thing in the entire universe. You can live through anything. I'm all about survival. If there was a zombie apocalypse, you better bet your bottom dollar. If there was one StarCraft player that survived, it would be Artosis.
Oh, this Marine might get taken out. I'm sorry, but he spots your semi-bio army over there. Knows that he can't expand safely.
It's so interesting to me that Alicia actually sent that Zealot and Stalker all the way across the map. But he got a lot of good intel from it. So, really interesting play here by Alicia thus far. And, in fact, it looks like Alicia... Ooh.
Oh,
Here comes the SCV.
Here he comes.
It's going to see 2 gates and a Robo. A very safe build.
I'm actually... Well, right now, after he got scouted, Noblesse actually decides to go for an expansion. I was going to say I don't agree with Alicia expanding, but Noblesse is reacting in a way there. Here comes his first aggression. His Marauder actually does not have concussive shells yet, right?
We'll check that for you. No concussive shells,
okay.
but Stim is almost done. So that's going to be pretty scary. An Immortal is on the way. Now the Immortal is going to be completely crucial here. He's going to want to target it on the Marauders and just try to make sure that it does not die. Oh my god.
Oh wow.
What is this? Noblesse double expanding. One of them to his opponent's gold base.
Wow.
And if that goes up for a little bit, you know, see, that's actually, this is such an interesting thing that he's doing because that's not an area that Alicia is likely to scout for quite some time.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's so brave because he saw that Robo Bay inside Alicia's base. He know that there's an observer over there.
Yeah. It is brave. And
oh, he's gonna lose his army right here.
Oh, very nice force fields.
Nowhere to run.
Yeah, that is just beautiful play right there by Alicia. Taking out a couple Marauders and damaging a Marine right away.
Oh no! That Observer is going to the way of that gold base.
And he sees it. Oh, that's huge. That is so huge right there. To actually know.
He's going straight away.
It is indeed. Right now, by the way, it is 25 probes to 28 SCVs.
Might actually lose his expansion straight away after he starts right here.
Yeah, he's going to have to lift it off at least.
For sure. Oh, and an SCV.
Sorry, guys. That gold base was ill-fated. As you said, Kelly, he had the Observer out. It was a dangerous move, but, you know, if that Observer had decided not to go over to the side, you would get very far ahead by having that. Just drop all your mules there, and suddenly you have a trillion minerals.
You're completely right.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, he has nowhere to actually land his second expansion.
Yeah.
It's so hard to defend.
May just use it for mules or something for a little bit. Up its SCV count quicker. Something like that. And will we see Alicia push? No, I don't think so. Scans to take out that Observer.
I think he's just going to try to contain Noblesse as much as he can.
There's really not enough units for Alicia to attack him there well. Good number of sentries, but just not enough damage dealers. Now, I love what Noblesse is doing here. Instead of going for 4 barracks that we do see sometimes, 3 barracks in tech. It's very, very solid against a build like this that we see from Alicia. In the meantime, Alicia adding another gateway as well as a robotics base. So we're definitely going to see Colossi plus 4 warp gate and a 3rd base right away. Interesting.
These two players really, the way they're playing is kind of saying, I'm going to have a backup plan no matter what happens. If I fail this push, I actually have 3 bases, so I'm going to be able to reproduce my army pretty quickly.
And that's a sign of a good player. You know, you want to be able to do things like that. You always need a backup plan.
Well, Ro16 has 5 backup plans. That's why he's so good.
Well, that's what everyone thinks is I have 5 backup plans. I actually have 7 backup plans.
There's 7?
7.
He's actually being a turret in his base right now.
Yeah.
So he can prevent his Observer. I'm just going to let everyone not know about your 7 backup plans, so people think you only have 5.
Well, here's the thing. I say I have 7, I actually have 8. Don't tell anyone
You
that
have
one.
what?
Yeah.
That's
I'm a very safe guy.
very safe guy.
So right now, 45 probes against 40 SCVs. Alicia is going to want to saturate that bottom right base immediately because he is adding a couple more gates at home. Meanwhile, we do see our Terran player just making a ton of Marines and Marauders. Should see some medevacs join them very, very shortly. And this is going to be scary because Alicia does not have a lot of units right now. He's going to have to rely on force fields and just a Colossus or 2.
Very good micro. I actually love how Noblesse plays. He's going for the really standard MMM build against a Protoss player. Has to absolutely remember he has to push before the High Templar is out. Because once the High Templars are out, there's no way he can actually win with his bio army. He steams and comes in, wants to catch the sentries.
Oh, very nice.
3 force fields coming up. Cuts Noblesse's army away from chasing him. So he actually kind of wasted the steam over there. Did not actually catch any army.
Yeah, you know, that was a beautiful set of force fields there, and his Colossus number is going up. I'm so surprised, though, that he's adding Stargates. That's very, very interesting to me.
Oh, he's getting Ghost right now, so he can EMP.
Yeah, good move.
Sentry.
Ghost getting more and more common in the
Oh,
matchup.
he denies the expansion.
Oh, I love this Alicia kid. He knows exactly what he's doing, but there's going to be a drop in Alicia's main base. Colossi coming back, but he's got to be very careful about that, or they'll get sniped.
Well, the thing is, Noblesse can actually just sit back and get a couple of Vikings.
Yeah.
Actually warps in a Zealot.
I like that a lot. Just in case Noblesse wasn't walking up there right away, he could have killed a couple SCVs, delayed some mining time.
This Alicia...
Alicia's really good. Actually, Alicia is one of the top-ranked players on the Korean ladder.
Oh,
yeah.
He is?
Yep.
He's on top of his game. Knows what's happening everywhere.
Well, right now, a lot of Phoenixes are coming into play. The Phoenix Colossus combo, a very scary one for Terran players.
Are the Phoenixes more for sniping the medivac or for the Vikings that have to counter the Colossus?
Definitely for the Vikings. In fact, if any of you guys want to try the strategy at home, target the Vikings with the Phoenix before you target medevacs, because if you're attacking medevacs, then the Vikings are going to stay alive too long and kill your Colossus, and you're going to lose. So a very deadly unit combination. One of Protoss's late game beautiful combinations that they just love so much.
We're going to see Noblesse with his Ghost. Not a lot of Terrans are comfortable with using Ghost because it requires a lot of micro. You already have to micro your Steam, you have to micro your Viking, and then you have to micro your EMP. Have to catch you actually have to EMP before you get force field or you get caught. So
feedbacked. Well, another little thing to point out, just one starport for Noblesse here. And you know what that tells me? That tells me that our Protoss player is going to be in a great position. Because basically, if you're going Vikings and he has the same amount of Phoenix, or rather the amount of Phoenix that it takes to kill your Vikings off, your Vikings have been pretty much a waste. Because those Phoenix aren't going to be the most useful thing in the world against anything but your Vikings. So you want to way overmake Vikings or don't make them at all.
I completely agree with you. He should actually get 2 starports.
Yes.
And get two reactors and just mass produce Vikings.
And in fact, he's being very smart. He is making a second starport now that we told him that.
I think he's listening to the stream.
We're helping him out a lot. He's in that booth listening to the stream. You're quite right.
He puts a couple of turrets in the middle of the base, wants to contain the Protoss player and not let him expand. Extremely good move, but it might actually be bad for him later on because if he loses that map control, he's gonna fall behind. You do see Alicia coming in, sees a scouting SCV. Getting an armory.
An armory, you say? Well, I would say that armory is going to be for upgrades. You need it to get your +2 attack on your Marines and Marauders. Pretty important. And this army is just getting to be more and more fearsome from Alicia, and also Warp Prism on the way. So Warp Prism going to be pretty useful.
I'm actually pretty worried for Noblesse right now. He seems very confident with his Bio MMM army.
Yeah.
But he's forgetting that there's going to be storms later on. The longer he waits, the more possibility that there's going to be storms coming in for him.
That's quite true. Now, we can see that he doesn't. That Templar Tech hasn't been started yet, but definitely that's something he has to keep in mind. Good number of Vikings out right now. Getting some snipes on. More upgrades for Protoss Air. The armor going up.
Oh, look at that. These 2 players doing a dance. Trying as much to gain air control. There you see a Warp Prism coming in. Dropping Zealots into the expansion of Noblesse.
And it looks like we may see an attack here. Those Vikings have got to be careful, and nice moves right now by Alicia, getting in there and targeting down some Vikings. But he has got to back up a little bit. Those missile turrets did a great job, as well as some EMPs. The 4 sentries were all EMP'd to death. And it looks like Alicia will force him back, but ever so barely.
Colossus actually not being able to get taken down by the Vikings early on, so they're doing so much damage to the Bio army of Noblesse right now. Looks like he's almost going to lose his whole Bio army. Sniping down the turrets in the middle. That's where he wanted to fight. He kept trying to pull back so the Phoenixes could get into range of turrets.
You know, Noblesse doing a good job of actually... Oh my god, there is actually a Colossus up there. He had the Warp Prism rallied up there, so the Colossus just went when it's done. Looks like he will take out that Warp Prism. But, you know, here's the problem. Noblesse, as you said, he's just staying on Marine Marauder for the most part, but hold the phone, we're going to see another battle here. Good EMP going off right away. And good micro on the Phoenixes. Pulling them back and forth, back and forth. But finally, Noblesse is really dedicating himself to Vikings. And that's what he needs to do. You know, if you're going to fight against a dedicated Colossus Phoenix, you have to dedicate yourself to anti-Colossus Phoenix, which is going to require a bajillion Vikings. And perhaps even a Thor mixed in there. course, Thor against clumped phoenixes is hilariously good. It's giggle-worthy. 187 supply for our Protoss, 153 for our Terran.
Noblesse actually slightly behind on bases right now because he lost one of his base. We didn't actually manage to catch it, but Alicia was doing a double attack. Alicia gaining map control at the moment. Still seeing an MMM army from Noblesse. Super huge risk. Has a really high amount of Vikings. The problem was earlier on he didn't have enough Vikings. Right now trying to snipe Colossus out on the field. EMPs!
You know, I feel like he needs even more Vikings than this and really just sit around and kite for a day and a half to try to whittle down those numbers. The Colossus ball is just too big at this point. 6 Colossi. When you get up around that number, everything just starts dying in one volley. And that is not what you want to see.
Oh my god, he has to micro his Vikings right there. You see the Marauder army coming in, taking down the Gateway army of Alicia right there.
Yeah, notice how those Phoenixes taking all the hits from the Vikings. Doing a great job there with the Phoenixes, and during all this, the Marauders just getting creamed by the Colossi, and it looks like Slayer's Alicia gonna take game 1 against Noblesse from MVP.
Phoenixes are so good.
They are really good against these Vikings. GG. You know, it feels like you have to have a huge amount of Vikings. You have to start near the Protoss base. You have to just keep fighting. They have superior range to both Phoenixes and to Colossi. But the thing is, when you just do the full engagement without picking off any of those units, then suddenly, I mean, your Vikings are sitting there getting chewed up by Phoenixes, targeting down Phoenixes, and even though you might be winning that battle, while that's happening, the Colossi are all going like this, going like that to your Marauders and your Marines, and your Marauders and Marines are dying because they don't have any support against the Colossi. The Colossi numbers aren't falling. They're getting all their damage in. So really, you have to whittle down to actually live through something like that. It's such a powerful unit combination in PvT.
It's quite funny. It's as if Noblesse was not confident of Vikings. He was underestimating Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean, there was kind of, at the last battle, there was more Vikings than there were Phoenixes. But his Vikings were meant to take down the Colossus.
Yeah, he was sitting there targeting Phoenixes. He's just letting them fight and then fighting the rest of the battle. He could have, well, by that point, of course, Alicia was well ahead. He had that gold base. He had more Stalkers in there. But anyways, we don't have time for that anymore. It's time, Kelly, for game number 2.